fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV and the Raid Furniture Mart Super Series. Tonight, it's the Mama June's Magic Relish 150 live from Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm Dean Doucette, joined as always by Mr. Baron Labosco. Baron, it's the last great Coliseum tonight.
Yes, sir, Dean. Crown Jewel event tonight, calling this race Bristol from Brooklyn, man. I'm in the great city of Brooklyn, New York tonight, and can't wait to see these boys mix it up on a very cool track. Bristol, always a favorite, and Dean, this was one I was looking forward to on the calendar.
Absolutely. You know, we got a little racing room tonight, a large field for the super lates. Should be interesting. Keys to the race. Got line, pitting, and strategy. Pitting and strategy we talk a lot about, but how about racing line tonight, Baron? How can it be important here for, getting runs, getting passing, and maybe more importantly, either saving or using your car up?
Exactly. Two grooves tonight, Dean. There is a high line and there is a low line here, and you're going to find drivers mixing it up on both ends of the track in both the high and low lines. So what you'll find is the exit of 2 is a little bit flatter, so you're going to see some guys a little squirrely coming out, and the exit of 4, the high line is going to prevail. So you're going to see a lot of guys trying to mix up their lines. Some will run high in 1 and 2 and low in 3 and 4, and some will do the reverse if they've got the racing room. And then side-by-side racing, oh boy, watch out for those fenders and that outside wall, because the minute you scrape that, you're headed towards the inside, and calamity ensues.
Calamity indeed. So we're off to a fast start with Calamity Jane making an appearance. Adam Cole leads the points here this evening. Now, he's been super consistent, as has Jason Spear and Adam Newton, having themselves, a good season here. You got Pearson in third, and then it's Austin Miller. 3 race wins now, and when drop weeks come, because remember, he missed a race, he will catapult himself to the lead. Really, he's the effective leader here, and the odds-on favorite for the championship, Baron. These guys really got to have a hard look at Miller and try and beat him here tonight.
Yeah, Austin's having a stellar season, and he kind of told us at the end of last season that maybe this was going to be the season he competes for a championship, and he's proving it week in and week out now. He's being consistent in his attendance. He's also being consistent in his finishes, and with that said, he's going to be a tough customer to beat come the end of this season.
He most definitely will. You look over some of the other top 10, you got Kennedy, Lem, Termeyer, Roel, and Hines. Of course, Walker and Herzog and Woods just outside of the top 10. Lots of time here still. We're about just over halfway through this short season here. But tonight here at Bristol, one a lot of people are looking forward to. I know I am. I think Herzog, a little overexcited, just blew his engine on pit road there, Baron. Thankfully, he'll get a fresh car for the race.
Yeah, a little bit of software issue there, but Herzog will be in this one. Yeah, you're right, Dean. Bristol always won these guys, mark on their calendars when they want to see themselves in victory lane for. Bristol, known far and wide as the last great Coliseum, as you called it at the beginning of the broadcast. Dean, I'm excited to see who comes out with the checkered flag tonight, and there's a lot of characters in this race right now that could exactly pull this off.
Well, there is. And I mean, speaking of characters, let's get a quick look in on one of these characters. That's Marvin Termeyer Jr. in the O'Reilly Auto Parts machine. We're always rooting for Marvin. Could it be his night tonight, Baron?
It could be as long as Marvin keeps his fenders on, right? So good starting position outside of the front row. And as long as we keep the fenders on the car, I think Marvin's got a great shot at this. He's had speed at Bristol before. We've seen him run well here. So Marvin, one of those guys we need to watch out for. Also back this week, Ryman Castle in the 1 car. Missed a week last week. He was working and basically had won and then had to take a week off. So Ryman Castle in that 1 car, also somebody you want to watch for a real strong finish tonight.
Absolutely. A lot of great drivers out here. And we're going to get right into tonight's starting order brought to you by KT.org, one of our great sponsors. Please go check out that website. Here we go. Mama June's Magic Relish 150 starting order. It's Colin J. Kennedy with another pole in the number 3, the time of 14.603. Marvin Termeyer will start on the outside of row number 1. It's Chris Shannon and Ryman Castle in row 2. The Coles, father and son, Walker and Bryan, start in row number 3. Bernard Person makes his return to racing action. He was out of commission after suffering a blow from the hurricane back in the summer down in Florida. Got hit pretty hard just now, getting his connection back up. He'll be joined by Trent Robinette in row number 4. Then you got Spear and Bartel in row 5, Miller and Lester in row number 6. It's Herzog and Hines in 7, Pearson and Werderman, Cole and Spear, Darren Bruce, Adam Newton, Purnell, Roel, Zach Woods, and Tyler Lem rounding out what is a very large field here this evening. Actually, Andrew Perry as well.
Yeah, large and strong too. A lot of regulars here and a lot of good talent from the rookie pool showing up tonight. Some of these guys with lots of experience in other leagues have made their appearance here at Bristol to hopefully etch their name on that trophy tonight, Dean.
I might race if there's going to be a name etched in a trophy.
Oh yeah,
Love
right.
it.
Me too, man. Let's get that done.
Boys getting all ready to go. We're all ready to go. I hope you're all ready to go. The Mama June's Magic Relish 150 about to go green flag racing. Got to be careful here on these beginning laps, Baron. You don't want to throw it all away early.
Well, and you'll watch these guys. They'll have to tiptoe it into 1 and 2 here. Wait till the tires get a little warmed up, and then they'll be off to the races. It won't take long, so keep an eye on that outside line.
Here we go. Colin J leading them down. Green flag down and away, and we're under green flag racing. Marvin with a big run on the outside, looking to take the early lead way up by the wall.
Yeah, and he gets a nice run down that back stretch, so he's going to look to capitalize on it here in 3 and 4, and let's see what he can do with this run now.
Wow, he's getting big runs, holding court, but Colin J down on the low side. Looks like he's coming through here and going to clear him.
And it looks like he's bringing company along with him. Chris Shannon making an appearance here, battling for 3rd place now. Chris always going to be a contender here in this late model series, and Chris got a good starting position tonight too.
Yeah, Marvin stuck on that high side. It looks like it's a little bit of good and a little bit of bad up there for him. Shannon coming through. Castle next up to try and keep the freight train moving.
Yeah, and you know, I wouldn't be that concerned at the moment if I were Marvin. You know, look, the High Line does do well here. He's going to figure out his rhythm, and once he gets that figured out, he's going to be in pretty good shape, and he just dives it in there for Walker Cole. So, yeah.
Almost a little contact there from Walker. You see Ryman getting a little bent out of shape. Looks like Person on the move as he's starting to work over Brian Cole. So Bernard Person in his first start, looking pretty racy out here. Cole going to keep that spot though. Trent Robinette out here in the Bush machine in the 21. He's in 8th. Spear and Miller a little further back here as there seems to be a bit of a gap here between about 8th and 9th.
Now here after a minute, these leaders are going to start catching the tail end of this pack, and you're going to see a lot of lap cars vying for position. So as we go through the field tonight, folks, don't worry about your driver being in a bad spot. Just watch for that leader.
Look back here in 15th position, some heavy battling. Bruce and Hines going at it. Behind them, it's Cole and Werdeman slugging it out.
Lots of side-by-side racing. I love it, Dean. It's the way Bristol ought to be.
That's the 51 machine of Zach Woods. We know he likes to move forward. Bad starting spot tonight. He's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, Zach got a lot of speed in that machine. Teammate of Ryman Castle. So Ryman up front and Zach in the back here. So we'll see how this works out for Zach, but watch for that 51 before the end of the night.
So back up front, it's Colin J, Chris Shannon in second, Ryman Castle third. Then you got Walker Cole up to fourth. Marvin settled in now in fifth position, and he's got Brian Cole all over him.
Yeah, Brian making his way, and he's got Bernard Person with him. So Bernard showing his strength early here. Bernard, one of the guys we talked about, came from other series. He's in here with these late model guys and really showing very strong right now, Dean.
Yeah, Bernie's going to be tough anywhere he races. Natural racer is the 8 machine. And right now, nowhere to go for him, so he's got to be patient. We'll see if he can keep that patience. How about behind him, Trent Robinette, showing quite well. Trent's got to be happy early, starting 8th, sitting here in 8th, in a real nice, comfortable position. And we got a yellow flag. Something's happened. Looks like Werderman in the wall.
Oops.
So we know Werderman was in the battle. Let's get a look in and see what happened here on lap 15. Werderman and Hines on the low side. Everything looks good. Werderman a little high, breaks down, comes into Hines, and they both ride up on the wall. Pretty hard lick for Werderman there.
Yeah, it looks like he got a little bit of damage in there. So, yeah, that's how that outside wall will reach out and grab you there, Dean, and it looks like he did that to old Jeff Werderman.
Well, that's the thing, too. When you're up there and you get a little loose, you just edge down a couple of inches. You're not really doing anything wrong, but there's just no room. Contact ensues as we watch pit stops being had here.
So we saw this last week, real early pit stops, and Dean, you and I sat here and said, what are they doing? We figured it out now, haven't we?
No.
No.
Absolutely not. Still don't know. I mean, you may. Please inform the people, Baron.
Well, here's what we learned last week. We had some guys that pit and made it. So they pit early, and I'm wondering if these guys have figured out that, an early pit can make it to the end, and maybe that's what some of these guys are doing.
And we take a look at our pit box here. We got Castle, Newton, Cole, Powell, Purnell, Herzog, all kinds on pit road. You can see them there on your board, and we'll just see how this plays out a little later on.
Yeah, indeed we do. So it'll be fun to watch some guys in the back of the pack just going to be hanging out, and then some guys trying to move forward.
Well, some guys have really moved forward as we look in on some of our big movers here. You got Darren Bruce in what can only be described as a lazy paint job, Baron. It's time to call him out. Time to get a paint job on there for Darren Bruce. And he's up 10 spots, having a good run here. And Andrew Perry up 14 spots. Those are our big movers, along with Ian Spear up 6. Give a little shout out to the 34 as well.
Well, maybe old Darren's waiting for the right sponsor to come along, and he can plop some colors on that machine.
Well, you're not lying. I mean, that's my mistake. He probably is looking for sponsorship, so if you want to throw your name on his car, I can tell you, Darren, not only a quality driver, but a quality person. But we're going to continue, at least I am, to give him a hard time with that paint.
Yeah, a lot of space on there to fill up, too, so any sponsor will do.
Speaking of sponsors, let's get a look in on Brian Cole. See Brian back to his original paint scheme. So that was a one-off paints job last week, Baron.
The Coca-Cola.
The Coca-Cola machine. You gotta love it.
Awesome.
Very cool of him, as he lost the race prior to that and kind of called himself out for it. Pretty funny.
That was a brilliant paint scheme. Hats off to Brian. Having a little fun with himself there.
So Kennedy, now we'll have Shannon up there, and of course Walker, you can never count him out. Marvin back up to 4th now, and he's back on the outside. He won't like that. Person and Robinette. Here we go, Kennedy and Shannon. Kennedy launches right away. What a job on the outside. Very smart from Colin J. Kennedy.
Yeah, great launch and great result, right? He's out front.
So Walker goes through. Everybody's status quo. Person trying to do battle here with Robinette. Robinette closing that door on him.
Yeah, so running a medium line there. He's in the middle of, both grooves. So Bernard gonna have to be a little careful trying to get around him here. He's gonna have to pick his line and then make Robinette can really commit to the other one.
Well, that's where I like to run, Baron, is right in that middle groove. And I'm not joking. That's the best way around this track, but not the safest. You could make some enemies out here taking up the track like that.
Well, it just makes it hard on the competitors to find a line to get around safely. So he's not doing anything wrong, and I don't want to belittle anybody for the line they run. They're entitled to run anywhere on that track. But for the competitor behind who's trying to get around and show a little courtesy without rubbing bumpers if they don't have to, that middle line can be a challenge, and it'll take a minute before they figure out how they're going to do it.
So a torrid pace up front here. Kennedy and Shannon really going. Walker hanging in, actually closing in on him. And a little gap back to Marvin. He's all by himself. And then Person he's got around Trent Robinette now. So Person's on the move. And maybe let's get a look in on that pass and see what happened. Here you go. Person down low. Robinette still in the middle. Person going lower, getting a good run there. Down on entry. And Robinette, I think, just gives it up. So good on Trent there, just kind of giving him room, even though that maybe not the line he wanted to run, Baron.
Well, and look, Bernard showed him his headlight there, and we got a crash.
It's Ryman Castle involved. Looks like Bruce Pearson as well. So bad news for Ryman Castle.
Adam Newton goes a lap down. So what happened all here?
Let's get a quick look in here on Ryman. So Ryman in front here with no number on the hood, the 33 right behind him. Oh, and a wiggle there. Wow. I kind of missed that myself, Baron. I don't know if there was contact or a wiggle.
Not sure.
Looks like he's sideways. Correct. Possibly neck code thrown in there at some point as well. Ooh, Pearson gets a hard lick out of that. Really unfortunate for him.
Big shot coming in there. Yeah, I hope everybody's okay.
Throw up our pit board and see who's in. It looks right now Castle's in getting that repair work done. And he'll get a new car and get back out. Looks like, I think he'll be on the lead lap.
I think he managed to stay there, didn't he? Yeah, he sure did, tail end. So, all right.
Here comes Marvin.
Yep.
So Termeyer will relinquish fourth place, come in and make his pit stop here. This is early on. We did have some takers earlier on. Werderman's in. He's a little roughed up. We'll see if Werderman gets a new car here. Doesn't look like it, Baron. A little early for the new car.
Yeah, he's probably planning on second half of this race. As long as he doesn't go a lap down, he's still a contender, so I guess he's all right with the way it is.
Bruce Pearson the same. He's just going to knock it out there with the hammer and head back on the track.
Well, there you go. So, lots going on. Colin Kennedy still leading the field, though, and we've seen Colin do this week in and week out. Good starting position, leads a bunch of laps. Let's see if he can finish it off, huh?
It looks like he's pushing the pace truck around right now. I'm not too sure if that pace truck needs some assistance or not, but he's getting it.
Getting a selfie done there, yep.
Just scraping some stuff off the old radiator, getting the fresh air in there.
Yep. That's the only time you'll see a Ford pushing a Chevy.
Andrew Perry.
Marvin Termeyer wanted me to put that out there for everybody.
All right, Andrew Perry up 15 spots on the Knights of the 33 machine. Love the paint colors. Reminds me of an old, I don't know, what was it, the old M&M's? No, that's not what I'm looking for. Hooters machine, maybe. Reese's Pieces, perhaps.
There you go. Ooh, now you're talking. What's it say on the hood there?
It's the AMP. It's a little construction digger there.
Yep. Yeah, good looking car there from Andrew. Different from his Skull Bandits scheme, so I'm going to have to get with Andrew and find out what the background is on this one.
Absolutely, we
And
will.
there's the Punisher with Jason Spear. Love that O2 car right now.
Yeah, got the Punisher out when he's not known to punish people on the track as far as wrecking them and stuff, but perhaps looking to amp up the aggression a little bit with that Punisher scheme. Here we go. Colin J on the high side again. And I love that he's choosing the high side, getting a good start. Person on the high side trying to battle in and take second away from Shannon, but Shannon too fast on the low side.
Yeah, it looks like Shannon got a little bit of a slow start, but was able to recover it nicely and hold off Person for the pass there. So put the A car back in third, and here comes Walker Cole.
Yeah, Person gonna have to be careful here. He doesn't really know these drivers. Walker is very tough, and he's gonna be tough to beat. As is Person. These guys really do in battle.
Love seeing the side-by-side action. Walker showing a little respect, and it looks like the inside line is just a hair faster, but Bernie running strong on that high line.
He is, and he's inching down a little bit, which I like, trying to get to that middle groove.
Yeah, so the entry gives up a little, but he's making it back up on that straightaway, making it nice and long, getting the most he can out of that motor.
What a battle. Finally, I think Bernie going to let that one go. Behind them, how about TJ Bartel finding himself in a top 5 position, the 13 Flex Seal machine.
Yep, up 5 spots from his starting, and he's one of the biggest movers tonight as he's found himself in the top 5. Good to see TJ up here. A really quiet guy. Love watching TJ race. He's very methodical.
Yeah, great to watch him out there. Trent, get Jason Spear, Perry. How about Barry Hines sitting here up 5 spots in 9th position?
Yep, and Barry, a regular of the series. Barry having a pretty solid season this year, and it's good to see Barry up here. I know he's looking forward to tonight. So, and he's got old what's his name behind him in the blank 14 car.
Well, what's his name with the what's his name sponsor? That's Darren Bruce at number 14. Still ragging on him a bit here. Love Darren having himself a good run, up 9 spots, and then he started here. He's still here. It's Austin Miller. We know where he'll be later on. Darren.
Yeah, and I gotta believe Austin is just buying his time right now. I think he's saving his stuff.
Get a little wider shot and see some of this action out here. Good looking bunch of cars out there. Robinette a little bit up the track compared to most. And I kind of like that. Get some clean air. Let's try a different line. As long as you're not losing spots. And he's making it work. Boy, he got a big run there on TJ Bartel.
Yeah, so put it where they're not, right? If he can make that high line work, he'll gain some spots as long as there's no traffic in front of him. So I love that Busch car, though. Busch Light fan myself. So go newcomer. Go Trent.
Well, this is something I've seen at Bristol. Now, I don't know about super lates, but in general, as the race wears on or the run wears on, that high line becomes stronger and stronger. And it could be that Robinette being the first to work that out. Right in front of him, Walker and Bernard Person still going at it here.
Yeah, you're right, Dean. The rubber's going to get laid down. The tires are going to wear out. That high line is going to be easier to maneuver the car through. So you can still pass in the low line. You'll find these guys, as the tires get older, they'll abandon that low line because it binds the car up too much.
Up front, Colin J. Kennedy. He's been here more than once, several poles. He's got to like his position out here and on this track. And we've got a wreck. It looks like Adam Cole, Marvin Termeyer involved in an incident.
Oh no. Points leader and Marvin.
So at the third way marker here, or close, we're going to have a crash involving our points leader. Let's get a look at it here. Marvin trailing. Gets a bit of a run here. Extends out. Whoa! Big dive by the 16. Comes up a bit into Cole. Cole maybe not giving him all the room he was expecting. But that was an aggressive dive into that corner, Baron.
That's a full-on war hoop.
The old war hoop.
That was a war hooping it in.
I think that was a horse I once bet on.
Did you win? I mean, was that a winner?
It's not a winner. That was straight to the trash bin.
Just goes to show you don't bet on the Cowboys.
Not them boys.
I lost on them again this week. Thankfully, they're out now, so I don't have to worry about betting on
Well,
them
I
anymore.
don't often say this, but you deserve it. If you put money on them, or on
Them boys.
DAC boys, I call them now.
What a mess. I couldn't believe it.
I could. I couldn't believe people bought into the fact that beating Tampa Bay was a feat.
This is true, too. This is true. I won on Tampa.
That's a good thing.
Should have learned from my own lesson.
As you can see, folks, we're not only into racing, a little bit of everything up here in the booth. Right now, I believe our Worderman getting the lucky dog.
Well, good for Jeff. Get himself on the lead lap here. Dust himself off. Get back in this thing.
Let's see about pit stops. You got lap 48 pitters, Miller, Purnell, Rowell, Worderman, Woods on 49. So those guys going to have fresh rubber out here. Going to be interesting here. I kind of like it on lap 50 here. I don't think they'll be back in unless an accident or something like that. But out front, some of these guys still haven't pitted, Baron, and we've seen this time and time again. Our top 10 have not pitted. They could be in trouble.
Well, they could be. And what we're seeing right now is some guys banking on this thing going green. Now, if we get a yellow, all that strategy's out the window. So some of these guys now getting their rubber and hoping that this thing goes nice and long and green so they can really make up some ground on Colin J. Kennedy.
Well, the thing is, are they in trouble? I mean, the top 10 got a pit, you got to think, right? So
Sure,
when you get
sure,
a yellow
yeah.
in 10 laps, they come in, you just gain 10 spots.
However, everybody's on virtually the same tire at this point.
Yes.
So the guys that just picked up new rubber, are 50 laps better than the cars up front. So if this thing stays green, they look like geniuses.
And I got my pros and cons list out, Baron. I had it all full of pros. You just filled it up with cons. Now I don't know what to do.
Well, the calculator gets a little smoky too when I try to do fuel mileage too. So
God,
be careful of that.
Mine's in Canadian, so I don't even know what's going on.
It's like an abacus.
It's an abacus. I like bean counter.
Bean counters are good too. Yep.
All right, here we go. Colin J, two on the high side one more time. I got like that, man. And Shannon in second. Person and Walker Cole in row 2. There he goes. Good launch again. Person goes with him. A little spin from Chris Shannon. He's going to lose that spot.
So give second place to Bernie. Let's see if he can hold off. Oh, wait a second. Chris Shannon said, hold on a second now. I'm not done yet.
He's definitely not done. Fighting hard, and he got a good run out of the corner. A little scary there, maybe running into the 8. And he backed out. Great job by Shannon, but Shannon looks really strong on that low line.
I think that might have been Bernie giving himself a little extra room, if you know what I'm saying.
I think it was, but nonetheless, I give the credit to Shannon backing out of that thing a little bit.
Yep. I think maybe Bernie said, now hold on a second, just give me a little more room here, and kind of gave him a little shimmy shake there, get the 32 off him.
Behind them is Walker Cole, TJ Bartell slugging it out. TJ having one whale of a run here.
Yeah, he sure is. We've seen TJ run well in other series at Bristol, so apparently whatever's got 4 wheels and a steering wheel, TJ can run here.
Absolutely. We're seeing a lot of these, truck, cup, Xfinity style guys having better nights here than a little familiar track at Bristol. To be expected, isn't it, Baron?
I agree. Fast is fast no matter what your preferred car is, and Bristol's one of those tracks that if you get the rhythm down, you can run just about anything here.
Guess who's starting to show up? That's Mark Herzog, up now to 9th position. Haven't talked about him yet tonight. Starting to make an appearance. There's Fred Lester behind him on the high side. These guys working on Jason Spear. Spear doing a nice job in the Punisher down low, but Herzog looks like he's probably going to get this spot eventually. I don't know, though.
Well, I know Jason's not going to roll over.
Oh, contact! Hines down the track. Lester moves up.
So that could have been big, but it wasn't. So great job.
And look at Lester. Again. Lester's pulling over. What a class act from Fred Lester. Pulling over, giving those spots back. giving up way more than he cost, but still very classy, Baron.
Yeah, and we stay green, which is real important.
Perry has wrecked, and we're still
one in the
green. I think there should be a caution, but there isn't, and there it is. Oh, and he backs into someone. That's a 94.
You got Rowell.
That's Rowell. Rowell won't be happy about that. You can hear him screaming from here, hold your brake.
Oops.
Oops is the response, no doubt. Let's get a look in on this wreck. So Perry's got Trent Robinette behind him. Trent driving in and just gets him, kind of cleans him out of there. Perry trying to hold on, doing a real nice job, keeping it off the wall, locking him down. He thinks the traffic's gone, does a little back up, and then one more, and there it is.
Oh, no.
So very hard to see. He was trying to let people by, but just not quite done right. Lester pulls in. We look in on old YouTube here, and real good to see the NC Bullfrog back out here with a little boogity boogity. You got Darren. He says we're at the bull ring tonight. And Jason Spear here giving a little shout out while he's on the track.
Yep. Doing what he does, right? He can text and drive.
I don't know if he really can. I'm not sure.
Multitasking 101. Speaking of beans, Dean, do you like beans on your hot dogs?
Yeah, I don't really. I think beans are meant to be on the plate separate. I don't understand this mix matching, putting things together that don't belong together.
Right? I don't
But,
mind
you
some
know,
beans on dogs, yeah.
I mean, I like the beans though. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
they're
nothing
good.
quite like just give me some toast and some beans.
Yeah.
And sop up that juice.
Are you a Bush's beans guy?
I'm gonna go ahead and say no on that.
All right.
Just because I'm in Canada and we don't really have them, so.
Can I have Bush's beans in Canada?
I don't know. It's possible. I'm trying to think what kind of beans.
You guys got grocery stores up there, right?
What the hell is that?
It's a
Grocery stores? We got a beer store. I know that.
That's even better. Like a drive-through. I've seen those up there.
Oh, there's drive-through for sure.
Now, how else are you going to drink and drive unless you got a drive-through liquor store?
It's pretty stupid, isn't it?
I love
Don't
it.
drink and drive, but here's a drive-through.
The great state of New Hampshire has drinking. They have their own exit for their liquor stores. So if you want to go buy booze, you got to go on the highway, get off on the exit, go to the store, and then get back on the highway to go home.
Wow. Just wow. This world never ceases to amaze me. It's a strange and wonderful place, is it not, Baron?
Common sense is not common.
It is not. Colin J out front. Looks like Perry out here looking for a wave around, or lucky there he goes. So we check our pit board one more time. Herzog was in, or no. Let's see, Fred Lester was in. Him and Alan Rowell, but I think they were, Lester had that where he let the guys back by, very classy, and the other one was involved in the wreck, so, nothing really doing with pit stops there. All right, lap 67 at 150. Colin J back on the high side. A little better from Shannon this time. He's going to try and hang in there with Person and not let him get that spot. And I think Shannon will clear him pretty quick. There it is. So yeah, Shannon, nice, that was real nice out of him. Walker going to clear the 14 of Darren Bruce. Bruce with a big run, checks it up though. Behind him, big battle. Got Herzog, Spear, Castle, Cole. And behind him, Miller hanging in there. And Adam Cole working his way back up here. I believe Adam Cole, yes, he's still right in this thing on the lead lap. He was struggling early on.
That's an interesting group right there. You got your camera on. So Spear Ryman Castle, Herzog, and Brian Cole. So some more of the more patient drivers we got on the track, and they're all under a blanket right now, and hot on their heels is Austin Miller. So interesting to see how this is going to play out.
It is. So there are two nickname drivers back here. No, actually, that's Purnell. I thought that was Miller. And the Rocket Man, 99, Tyler Lem in the Mellow Yellow machine. Looks like Ryman Castle looking to make some moves in the one. Oh, twice almost contact with Spear. Driving hard there is the one of Ryman Castle. And now they do it. They're turned, and around they go. Spear right through them. And he's going to collect several others. And some more to boot.
The carnage, Dean.
The carnage.
Pandemonium here, Larry.
Oh, the humanity.
That's 2 school words out of me tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get my dictionary up. We're going to have to get into replay mode if we can ever get back to the start of this.
You're going to have to get the wide angle out. I think they were wrecking all over the track.
My goodness. So here we go. Ryman, we've seen him the lap prior. Maybe it's here. Nope, this is the contact, but it was almost the lap before. So Castle was really pushing the boundaries of what was possible. And bam, you can see them still wrecking here. And then they continue to try and disengage from this wreck. Oh, and here comes Cole to get Robinette another time. Oh my goodness. Around Robinette goes. Right now he's thinking, why am I not in my cruiser? I'd pull some of these boys over.
How do I get out of the shooting gallery, right? I wasn't doing anything. Poor Trent.
Halfway mark, Colin J pulling off the track and headed down pit road.
I question this move considering the way the racing's been right now. So he figures halfway might as well be good enough to get him some tires and trying to get through there.
Yeah, this is a scary move. Marvin Termeyer coming in. Perry's in. Of course, Trent and Adam Cole both on pit road as well. So very interesting. Colin J, wow, and he's back out.
He might be back in. If those two tires got too far out of that groove, they may black flag him.
Colin J with a pit stop of 11.2. That looks like a 2-tire stop, Aaron.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Dean. Well, I'm glad I'm not the crew chief on the 3. Either that or that was a blistering 4-tire stop and everybody gets high fives.
Let's get a replay on this. I find this highly entertaining or interesting. Colin J coming down pit road. Just gonna watch and see if he gets service done of any kind here. Right sides go up. So it's a right sides only stop. So good stop from Colin, but he's back in 16th, and we're going to see how that plays out. I mean, if the others have to pit stop, this may be good, but let's take that pit board back up here. Some of these other guys who pitted, like how about Purnell? Are we sleeping on Purnell? He pitted back on lap 48. Currently in 9th position. Almost everybody in front of him has not, except for Brian Cole, the old master, pitted on lap 15.
Yep, and has sorted his way through this mess, and he is now in the driver's seat of this race. I think everybody else needs to get tires, and you might be looking at your new leader once service begins for the leaders. But Austin Purnell, right? So he said he loves to charge the corners when he's in these races, and this is one of those tracks you could do it.
Well, here we go. Shannon takes the high side this time. He's going to get a great start. Person into second. Bruce into third. Walker Cole, Jason Spear, TJ Bartell. As a lot of our oval guys showing at the top right now. There's Brian Cole in the 10. We know him from past seasons and what he's capable with. He's battling with Barry Hines.
Yep, and he's going to do what he can to make this low line happen for him right now while those tires are fresh. So let's see if Brian can get around that very pesky 8 car. So, excuse me, 15 car. I apologize.
Herzog in a battle with Purnell. He's going to win that battle for now as Purnell thinks better of it. But, oh, and Purnell really
Finds
loose.
the wall, yeah. Finds the wall in a big way, and Purnell has to make a move just to not collect him.
Here comes Austin Miller. Started 11th, still in 11th. He's been here all night. Finally moving forward. He's going to make a run on Herzog and does. So the 42 says halfway, let's go time.
Yeah, and he's going to find his way to the front now. It looks like he's hit the go button. So let's watch that 42. The talent in front of him is pretty steep, but this is a 4-time winner, folks. So let's see what happens.
So you see up to our leader. How about him? Chris Shannon. Let's see if we can get a little ride on board with our leader, Chris Shannon, and just see what we see here, Baron.
Nice, pretty wheel. Hands are nice and steady in there. This car's really hooked up for him, Dean.
Ooh, and he just hit the wall.
Little touch of the wall, yep.
Nothing too major, but what I'm noticing here is he's running that line that I think is best around here and fastest. That's that middle groove. And when you're the leader, you can afford to do this, Baron.
Yeah. When he's got no pressure, he's out there on cruise control right now. So he's getting the benefit of all the track and a lot of downforce as he's catching the rear end of this field, and he can pretty much put that car anywhere he wants to.
There he goes. Take Roel there. There's Bernard Person on his return up into second place, looking pretty strong. Walker right there in third, so everything a little spaced out in our top 3, even 4. There's Bruce, and then we got Spear and Brian Cole, everything working itself out. Then we get back to these battles here. It's Bertel, and he's fighting Hines. Miller is fighting Purnell. Oh, and Purnell getting the wall a little bit there.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say, too, Miller had gotten around Purnell, and he'd caught him again. So, interesting that Austin may not have the dominant car we thought he might.
I don't know about that. I think maybe this traffic played a little bit of an issue here, running Bristol, if you choose the wrong lane, you can get caught up in a bad spot.
Well, you get freight trained very easily, yeah, then you lose all that ground you made up. Frustrating. Oh my goodness, is that frustrating.
We get back to Herzog and Kennedy. So Colin J, race leader a lot of this race, trying to work his way back here. You see him on the low line, one corner, and he's around Herzog. Herzog pretty beat up there, though.
Yeah, and, Herzog having a rough night. Like, it started with an accident early, started deep in the field. He's going to have a long night ahead of himself. He can't get that damage fixed. A little bit loose on the low line now from some of these guys.
Well, I think they're really pushing it, right? Like, it's a tough pass to get it completed when they get that big run on the high side. So they may be over pushing that throttle a little bit, but there you go. Miller's down. Purnell's still getting loose every time out as he's trying to get around TJ Bartel. That's no easy pass either. So these guys really, really going at it here.
Yeah, and hopefully those rear tires hang out on that 38 car.
Oh boy, and Adam Cole there, a little checkup on the high side. That checked up Bartel. That puts Purnell through. So Purnell gonna love this. He's gonna walk right through.
God, I love racing at Bristol.
And that's the way it goes. I mean, you see Bartel, he's behind a lap car of Adam Cole, and he's getting freight trained. He's got to be hating this. And this is really horrible. He's lost 3-4 spots back here. No choice, though.
No flag out here now.
Looks like Ian Spear, perhaps.
Yeah, let's take
Castle on pit road. I'm not sure what happened to Castle. Looks like from earlier. Ian Spear, something happened in the 34. Coming off the corner. He's got Herzog on the high side. Oh, and Perry just comes in and cleans him out. And meanwhile, Herzog wrecks himself. Perry finishes him off. Wow, multi things happening in the same corner there. I mean, as far as Herzog go, he might be saying, "Please put me out of my misery." He's having a rough
Yeah,
night out here.
kill this thing, yeah. So
Good.
shout out to Darren in the room, NC Bullfrog watching us on YouTube. If you got your favorite drivers, shout out their names out there. Rocket Man's been called out. Yeah, a lot of regulars here on YouTube watching the Wind Tunnel TV broadcast for here, the Furniture Mart Super Series. Uh, Trying to put on a hell of a show here at Bristol, Dean.
And they are putting on a show. Great racing, a few cautions. It's had it all so far. You see Spear in here getting service. We looking on our pit board. Lap 98, Walker Cole, Brian Cole, Chris Shannon. Spear in a lap late with Roel. Bartel had service. Person had service. So did Perry. It looks like Adam Cole, but Adam probably in a little too early and got penalized, I would think.
Uh-oh, Dean.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Look who that leader is.
Well, wouldn't you know it?
Wouldn't you know it?
Where did he come from, Mr. Austin Miller? Out front. Man, is he just out thinking everybody? Him and Purnell up here 1-2 right now with Lester in third.
Crazy result to what we thought was not a very fast car, and now here's the leader, Austin Miller.
You know, we've said that a few times over the past races, and I think it's time to retire it when it comes to Miller. He doesn't have slow cars, he just has different strategy.
Apparently, and it is working. Absolutely working. So Austin Purnell, Fred Lester, our pole sitter, Colin Kennedy out there, and Marvin Termeyer back in the top five. So we got a whole new shakeup here, and guys with tires, guys with tires behind them, and you know, guys with the pit strategy in front of them. This is going to be a great finish.
Well, this is interesting too because it's series regulars, it's series vets, series winners all around the top 10 now. And when we talk about some of the guys we were talking about that come from, trucks or other places who are doing so good, when it comes down to pit stops and strategy, they're all outside the top 10. Spear hanging around in 10th, but the most of them have fallen well out of the top 10. And it's just amazing how this happens.
Every week, Dean, you're absolutely right. And every time we think we know what we're going to see, we get it backwards.
So Miller from the high side, quick launch. Kennedy right behind him, trying to get around Purnell. Purnell going to try and hold him off here. Lester all alone. Then Walker, Cole, and Termeyer slugging it out. Termeyer a little beat up. He's going to lose that battle. Kennedy and Purnell side by side.
Kennedy securing his second place now. He's got a free rein to go chase that leader down, Dean.
He does.
Colin Kenny's hungry.
He's hungry. Took those right sides. Man, it looks like he's still got the speed. Does he have the patience? Lap 105, a 150. Here comes Walker Cole.
And it looks like Colin J. Kennedy is going to do a crossover move and get his nose up under there.
Colin J for the lead. Austin Miller on the high side. Kennedy down low. Here comes Walker.
Walker Cole getting in the mix here, folks. And, here comes Chris Shannon. So they're all back in it. Brian Cole's on his way. Austin Purnell's in this. Oh, great battle in here, Dean.
Awesome racing. The freight train was down low early, and it's moved up high late. Shannon zooming around Colin J. Unbelievable action. Caution on the track.
And you called it earlier too, Dean. The minute you think you got a pass figured out, you'll get freight trained if you're not in the right line. And that's exactly what happened to Colin. Unfortunate, but here's a chance for him to regroup and kind of learn from his mistake.
I'm not seeing anything on the track, Baron, so I'm not sure exactly what's incurred here.
I'm afraid I haven't either.
Well, nonetheless, we don't have anything to report here, folks, as we'll bring up our pit board, and that might give us a clue if we see anybody out or coming in. Our only retirement, here comes Darren Bruce.
Regularly scheduled maintenance, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know why the caution come out there. Herzog's in, Bruce is in, but there's no incidents being tallied in my info bar. So anyway, Miller, Cole, Walker, man, what a great move. And you know, we got Grandpa out there, NC Bullfrog out there watching, being pretty proud of what he's seeing all season and really any season out of this 20 machine. We can't say enough good things about this guy, Baron.
Oh, for sure. And Walker is starting to string it all together as a complete racer. So his checkered flags are going to start coming soon, and tonight might be one of them.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, he's had many in the past. This season, I don't think he's had any, but he's definitely due. And he's got tough, stiff competition. Three-time winner Miller up front. As I get a little tongue-tied. You got Shannon. I mean, Shannon's won races. Colin J, Brian Cole. I mean, this is a murderer's row here at the front.
Sure is, and a solid group here. And you know, we love seeing these guys week in and week out. We love seeing the newcomers show up and try to throw their hat in the ring and see how they can perform against these regulars. And I think we have our answer here, Dean.
Well, how about a shout out to one of our newer drivers this year, Jason Spear, the Punisher machine out there. You know, he's running, I think, second in points. Each race, he's right around here, you know, fifth, sixth, seventh, but every race, very consistent, Baron.
And that's what it takes to win championships. We say it every year. And every year we interview somebody who says, yep, I'm going to be more consistent and I'm going to do it. But Jason is really embodying this, and love the paint scheme as much as I love the guy behind the wheel. And love seeing him in second place points. It would be real nice to see him finish the season strong.
And we got Fred Lester here having a really nice run out here. The 48 machine up 4 spots on the night. How about Fred Lester?
Yeah, Fred, no stranger to this series. I love the change in the paint scheme. Now, Fred can be dangerous. Fred has warned us that he's going to be a little more aggressive as the season goes on. He needs some stronger finishes to bolster his point standings. And Fred, a regular, makes every race every week. Happy to see this car up here in the top 10.
All right, everybody getting stacked up and ready to go. You see him there revving the engines, checking the brakes, getting all prepared. We're on lap 112 and 150. It's shootout time. It's who wants it time. Miller holding, and there he launches. Kennedy, a good launch in second. Walker trying to hold him off on the low side.
Yeah, and that half a twitch hold really didn't do any favors to the high side. So he did a wonderful job of trying to make sure he didn't get much competition coming out of the gate here.
Colin just getting beat on these restarts again. Oh, and a big wreck here.
That
We
collects
got
a lot of
Roel down pit road escaping it. Spears spun around. Robinette involved. This time we have something going on for sure. Let's get a look at it. Herzog, Roel, Spear. Spear in the 34. Come down a little bit onto Roel. Herzog and Pearson get a piece of that. Looks like everybody else should get through here, but no promises.
Not enough real estate for those two cars.
No, and it's just tough. You know, you get these restarts here at Bristol. We're talking about inches here, and a little move up the track or a little move down the track, and there's contact.
But that's Bristol, baby, right?
That's Bristol, baby. So we got Newton going into pit road. We haven't talked about Newton today. Rough night for him, back in 22nd position. Darren Bruce back in. I'm not sure. Bruce is getting some damage fixed, I would think. Ian Spear going to come on in.
And we know he's getting damage fixed.
All right, Baron, it's prediction competition. Who you got?
Oh, man, you gave me first choice?
That's right.
Oh, you know where I'm going. Dial me up for that 42 car. No, dial me up for that 42 car.
What is this? What is this?
Yep.
Cherry picking night?
taking the low hanging fruit. I'm taking Austin Miller. I picked against him last week and I paid for it.
Man, you don't even need a
I'm
ladder for this. Fine, we're gonna go that route. What am I gonna take? Walker? I mean, I'd bet on Walker, but I'm gonna take Chris Shannon back in third. Shannon hasn't been in victory lane that I remember in a little bit, but man, he can get it done. That 32 machines look good all night long.
Yeah, he's been the back to the front and from the back to the front again. So finds himself in third place. Yeah, we got. No, the top five here can all win this. Let's be honest.
Well, I think I go a lot deeper than that, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, you got Kennedy and Brian Cole fourth and fifth. Purnell sitting in sixth. How about Purnell? He's up 15 spots. What a night for him.
Running solid all night. That car's been fast, and Austin Purnell has found himself in victory lane earlier this season. He's looking to make it too.
He is. He's been very, very good. Spear, we talked about Lester. How about Barry Hines? He's been very solid this season, always riding around the top 10. He's in ninth, up 5 spots.
And right behind him in the top 10, Tyler Lem. We haven't talked about him tonight at all. And Tyler's up 14 spots in that 99 machine. Really like what I'm seeing out of Tyler tonight. The car looks relatively clean, too.
Yeah, the mellow yellow, the Rocket Man 99, having himself a good run here. 15 spots. Poor qualifying for him, but he's making a night of it. So watch out for him. He's always a threat. And don't forget, you down in that North Carolina area, to go check out Mama June's Magic Relish. Give that a try. I heard it's truly magic. Not a relish guy, but they tell me even if you don't like relish, you're going to love this stuff. It's different. It's great. So go check out Mama June's Magic Relish. Here we go. Miller on the high side, taking a great start. Walker fighting off Kennedy. Here comes Shannon kind of coming through, and he will. So, again, Kennedy's struggling a little bit to maintain his position here on the start, or at least gain anything.
Yeah, and I think Colin has been struggling with that high line all night. We kind of thought that some guys are going to be able to make it work, but Colin's been looking for that line. He's been searching for some speed up there, and it just hasn't found him yet, Dean, and he continues to bleed positions as he's stuck out there.
Big battle up here. Walker Cole battling for the lead with Miller. Walker Cole on the low side, a little bit of loose off the corner, brings Austin Miller back in it. Here comes Shannon. It's a three-way battle for the lead.
I got to tell you, there's some smart race car drivers here right now, and Walker Cole is one of them. He is pounced on this lead, knowing full well if this thing goes too much longer, he might lose the advantage.
Yeah, awesome run. He's going to get him here, too. Miller looking, he just doesn't want to lose more, I think. Walker files in front of him. New leader, Walker Cole.
Yep, and a little bit of slide job to make sure the 42 knew who was the new leader. And here comes Chris Shannon. He's going to relegate the 42 to third. But this battle isn't over, folks.
It's not. Here comes Shannon. 26 to go. I like what I'm seeing. Here comes Colin J. Kennedy. So Austin Miller sliding back here a little bit. Perhaps older tires, I'm not sure. But he's, and Brian Cole into the back of Colin J, just slightly there, as he looks like he's getting a little bit faster, looking for some racing room. It's Mervyn Termeyer's. And he's gone to the garage. So we're under yellow one more time.
Man, these guys are absolutely sideways coming out of these turns now, Dean. They are driving really, really hard.
Wow, we got to back that up. A little door slam there with Darren Bruce. So you see coming out of the corner. And off the wall comes Termeyer, slams Bruce. Bruce hangs on. Termeyer, trying to figure out what's going on, rides the wall, up 2 wheels, around he goes.
Yeah, that's just a driver trying to stay out of everybody's way, and he ruins his car. That's too bad. He was just trying to be a guy, right? He was trying to do well by his competitors, and it got him in more trouble after it was all said and done.
Yeah, and we see that from Mervyn. Not the crashing part, but the trying to get out of the way, trying to be a nice guy. Sometimes it'll bite you. TJ Bartell, your lucky dog. So TJ gets back in it after having a good run and then a little rough luck. Darren Bruce coming on to pit road. But up front, Walker Cole. I mean, we didn't pick him. It's not like we didn't think he could win this race, but it's almost like we've seen Walker win so many, and he's been a pick so often. I think I'm trying to make excuses to NC Bullfrog out there. I don't want him calling us out.
We're just covering all bases here, Dean. I appreciate you covering us up here, man.
We love the Krispy Kreme machine. There's no doubt about it. Can't say enough good things, but I still like my pick. Shannon sitting there. All of a sudden, you're in third now with Miller. How you feeling, Baron?
I got to feel confident. It's a good driver right there. We've got a handful of laps left. So what we're really looking at is the restart here. If the 42 can get off with the 20 car, we got a battle on our hands. But yeah, Dean, I hate to tell you when you're right, but I don't know. Chris Shannon looks pretty strong.
He does look strong.
But Walker Cole's no slouch. I just love it. I love it. This is Bristol racing. And like I said, top 5 can win this thing, no question.
Right. And 5th is Brian Cole. We got the Coles back up here. You can never sleep on either one of them. That 10 machine looks ominous in people's mirrors.
So Chris Shannon trying to stink up the Cole show here. And so is Austin Miller. So let's see how this plays out. Gosh, I love it. I love Bristol. Love it.
On the high side, be looking to get that launch. What do you do, Baron? Early launch. Are you going to try and time it and go with them?
A little bit of lapse on these tires. I would go early, Dean. That's just my opinion. I would go super early and try to pin that bottom line down as best I could.
I think Shannon's got to jump it and got to go early with Walker. Walker holds a second and he's gone. Slow start from Shannon, but he kind of blocks Miller, and him and Kennedy are going to be battling here, but Shannon going to clear him quickly. Got work to do though. 19 to go and a long way up to your leader, Walker Cole.
Yeah, so Walker got off early and pinned that bottom line down and gave himself a little space. With 18 to go, he's going to need it.
Right now, Brian Cole trying to work over Austin Miller. He drops to the low side. Can't get the run off. Miller sideways. Purnell into the wall. Meanwhile, Walker sets the fastest lap of the race out front. Is that a surprise, Baron?
No, Walker is driving qualifying laps now, so he's on his own, and he's going to make somebody catch him.
Unbelievable. Late in the race, the Krispy Kreme machine. 16 to go for Walker. Shannon second, Kennedy third. Brian Cole still fighting Austin Miller for fourth.
Yeah, so blistering speeds from the top 5 now. All of them sub 14 times. All of them 14.7 to 8.
Contact. Cole and Miller get together. Miller backs out as he rubs the ball. Give credit to Austin Miller. He didn't want to give up those spots, but that could be a championship winning remove. He's not on the hook, Baron.
Yeah, and that's that you keep driving, right? As long as the wheels are spinning, you got a shot at that big trophy at the end of the season.
And when Herzog just sets the fastest lap, that lap he was fastest, to 57, resurging late in this race. I don't believe it.
Track changes, and all of a sudden we got fast laps being sent around. Look at Chris Shannon stepping that car out, trying to catch that 20 car.
Let's get on board with Shannon and see what he's got here. A little higher up on entry, tries to cut her back down a bit. Good looking lap there. It's a little better entry, I think, here.
Yep, little counter steer coming out, and he's really making that right foot do the talking now.
11 to go. You see Walker ahead on your screen. Not really gaining, maybe inches, if anything, Baron.
And it's still about 0.8 of a lead right now. Walker's really just laying down some blistering laps.
You see here, a couple of them were for Shannon, but mostly for Walker. We crossed the line. And it looks like it's going to be Shannon that lap. So Shannon closing in a little bit. We go a little further back. Spear, Lester, Lem, all fighting. They're all behind Barry Hines. Behind them, contact.
Mark
Robinette,
Herzog in here.
Herzog into the wall. He's down towards pit road. He pulls off and down away he goes.
He'd had enough.
Yeah,
he
I don't
had
blame him.
enough.
I mean, he was finally coming to be late in this race after a very tough evening, and it just wasn't meant to be for him. Miller all alone now. These four battling out a little further back. It's Roel, Robinette, and I think that's Bernard Person out there, but he's a lap down. 6 to go, Baron. Walker extending here.
He's on cruise control, Dean. Yeah, he's out there just putting laps down and making them try to catch him, and nobody's gonna, Dean. This is a clinic by the 20 car right now.
It really is. We're looking for a battle here. Only real battle is back here. You got Spear trying to hold off Lester. 4 to go for Walker Cole. Spear starting to put the hammer down. He's going to catch Hines here. Has he got something for him? Looks like he's content to kind of stay here. But I hear tires squeal. It's Person. He's down the track. Adam Cole involved. We stay green. 3 to go. Walker still out front. Shannon falling back. Brian Cole making a move. Where did he come from?
Brian Cole trying to take second place and make this a Cole finish. Man, just when you think you count these guys out, they come back like a bad penny, don't they, Dean?
Is that like Nat King Cole do a song with another Cole?
His daughter, yeah.
Here we go, final lap. Walker Cole, your race winner. Shannon and Brian Cole fighting it out. And it looks like Shannon going to hold him off at the line. Walker Cole in the 20 machine takes home this victory, though. What a great job by the kid. Walker Cole, just phenomenal race here this evening.
Got to be proud of this win. Yeah, this is Bristol. Walker Cole just putting on a show, holding off a very fast 32 cars. His dad comes up and gives him a little congratulation nudge, and Walker's going to burn him down here for a minute, Dean.
He's definitely going to burn him down. Pretty sure I see a donut in his mouth, though. He's doing donuts. He's eating donuts. The Krispy Kreme machine back in victory lane. Well, Baron, this one definitely had a little bit of everything out here. You got to love it, man. You got to love the way these guys are racing. You know, there's going to be a little bit of caution. There's going to be a little contact with these super lates. But all in all, they did a fantastic job.
Great race, Dean. I just love Bristol. Love driving Bristol. Love watching Bristol. Love watching these guys race at Bristol. This is everything I want. I got everything I wanted out of this one, Dean, and real happy that I got to be here tonight with these guys.
You see here, our points get updated. It's still Adam Cole, Jason Spear, Newton, Bruce Pearson, Miller is going to probably extend what would be a points lead once the drops happen. Kennedy had a decent night. So we'll have to look forward to drops to see where that all resides. The race results here, it's going to look in on those. It's Walker, Cole, Shannon, Brian Cole, Kennedy, Purnell, great 5th place finish. Austin Miller slides to 6th. That's mainly because Barron picked you, Austin, so you can blame him. Send your email directly to whatever city he's in. Barry Hines in 7th, Jason Spear 8th, Lester and Lem finished 9th and 10th. Roel Robinette, Bruce Bertel, Person, Cole, Pearson, and Newton in your top 18.
How about Tyler Lem up 14 spots with a top 10 finish tonight? Really like seeing that out of Tyler. We didn't call on him much tonight, but talk about grinding one out.
Yeah, and you got Purnell up 16, and how about Alan Rowell? Creeps in at 11th position, up 11 spots, Baron.
Awesome race. That's what Bristol can do for you, man. I just love this track. Come back here every week, as far as I'm concerned. Love it.
All right, as we just try and get a hold of a few of our guys here to get some interviews for everybody. We got the Coles coming up. There's no doubt about that. Matter of fact, I think we're going to start right away, Baron. We're going to bring in our third place finisher, Mr. Brian Cole. Brian, heck of an effort there to finish third at the end.
Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm disqualifying myself because during one of those cautions I hit Colin on the caution. So I gotta go by the rules, and so Colin's actually gonna be your third place finisher tonight. So if you want to bring him in and interview him, that'd be fine. It's a good race though, better than last week. But yeah, I can't. I, other people, I gotta do what I
Well,
expect
well,
other
let, well
people to
let's
do.
bring
So
Colin. Let's bring Colin in right now. We'll do this live, Brian. Uh,
Just the
Brian
beauty of
Cole.
broadcasting, man. I
It
love
is.
this.
We're gonna do this live. Bringing in Colin J. Kennedy had a nice race. Started on the pole. Colin Brian said he's self penalizing himself for what happened between yous, and he's awarding you third position. So congratulations on that and the pole, and really a heck of a race. A hard battle up there.
Well, for one, Brian should not penalize himself at all because, I mean, truthfully, the blocks were a little unnecessary, for one. But it was just the heat of the moment. I was trying to pass Austin Miller using different lanes, not paying attention to what's in my rearview mirror. And I know one time we did make contact, but I don't think he should penalize himself over that. But
Well, in all
yeah,
honesty, Colin, I agree with you completely. We've seen this from many people in your league. We've seen it. I think it was Lester at one point in the race. Got a little bit into someone, backed right out. Probably gained one spot and relinquished like seven, trying to be a nice guy. We see it from Brian Cole. We've seen it from Marvin Termeyer. Talk a little bit about just this league and how great these guys are and how classy they are, because that's what this is. This is class acts doing this, even up and above what's necessary at times.
I mean, yeah, everybody here really races with respect. What I was doing, I was not driving out of my front of my windshield at all. I was driving out of my no, I wasn't driving out of my mirror. I was driving out of my windshield, not even looking back. So it's my fault completely with that. But yeah, I mean, plenty of people give enough room, give enough space, um, race clean, and are reasonable with all their passes. But yeah, other than that, I still don't think that Ryan should disqualify himself.
Well, we're going to call you 3A and 3B, and I'm going to throw it to Baron here. Baron, you got a question for 3A or 3B here?
Well, I think I know the incident that Colin's talking about there because we were calling it as sort of a racing incident, right? We know how Bristol you can pick the wrong line and suddenly you're in the wrong line, you get freight trained, and you roll back a few spots. Is that what happened to you tonight?
No, it was really just pit strategy tonight. I pitted at lap 75, hoping that there was going to be a long run or maybe just a run to the end. We ended up having 20 laps where I was just going straight through the field. Um, it killed my tires a little bit, but I was mainly saving them the whole time. But uh, new tires obviously benefited here. Walker and Chris blew right by me. But yeah, it was just pit strategy that really lost me this. I should have probably stayed out, but I mean, I was going with a normal plan just to run my race, not run, what everybody else is running. So,
You know,
but
crew
all
chiefing and driving is a very hard thing to do in the heat of the moment. So you got to be proud of a third or fourth or whatever that they sort this out
Absolutely.
at. But
You got to
you got
do
to
what
be
I
proud of
do,
that
Colin.
finish.
You go in the washroom, you look in the mirror, and you yell at the guy, the crew chief, and maybe fire him or something, and call it a day. But you guys, both of you guys, we love both of you. It's Brian Cole, Colin J. Kennedy, disputing on who deserves third place. On the board, it's Brian in third, Colin in fourth. Both fantastic runs and fantastic races. Congratulations, guys, and we really look forward to seeing you at the next one.
thank y'all.
Thank you. Look forward to next week.
All right, Baron. That was a confusing third place interview there, but
Sure was.
two great guys, eh?
Well, love it when they get together and and look, tracking incidents happen, and got to have a discussion about it, figure out what you're going to do with it. But no discussion here, Dean. Who you with?
Yeah, no discussion whatsoever. We're eating a box of Krispy Kremes here with Walker Cole, the 20 down in Victory Lane, back where he belongs. Congratulations, Walker.
Thank you.
Man, Walker, I'm going to start at the end there. How good did it feel to get out there with some clean track at the end and show people what you really could do?
Yeah, I impressed myself with the clean track there, and I was able to pull away from Chris by more than a second with same tires as him, and I was very surprised by that. But you can see how much traffic affects your speed versus with your by yourself. So it was a lot of fun being out front though.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think he set the fastest lap with about 10 to go, which was very impressive. But, clean track is king. We know that. But also, you, the Coles in general, but yourself in particular, have shown the ability to be king from anywhere on the track. You end up gaining four, but you did come from back in the pack at one point in the race. Talk a little bit about working your way through there and the trials and tribulations of which line do I go in is a little crowded out there at times.
Yeah, Bristol's always been one of my favorite tracks. The way you'll be able to go on the high line or low line to try to pass somebody, and with fresh tires and going through all those cars, this you have to be really patient to be able to do that, and it definitely tests me sometimes. But I was able to get through there pretty quick, which was very helpful there at the end.
Now you had to be worried there about Shannon at the end. Shannon showed some great speed. Of course, Dad's coming from fifth. He's trying to get in there too. He's got speed. But Shannon, I really thought he had the speed. But the was it the launch at the end that gave you those lengths to give you the freedom to run your line? Was that the most important, or was it just, hey man, I got him. I can do this. I got Shannon covered.
I think it's a little bit of both because after the launch, I looked at it, I was about 5 tenths ahead, and there at the end, I was second, about a second ahead. So I think the jump really helped, though, being able to run my line and not having to worry about chasing him down and then passing and then running my line. It definitely helped me skip a couple steps and showed my speed there. So
Well, we're always impressed with you, Walker. Whether it's out front or fighting from the back, man, here you are back in victory lane. We go from one kind of NASCAR traditional track to another. We head to Iowa. How you feeling about that?
the previous 2 seasons, I haven't done too hot there, but it definitely wears your tires even worse than Bristol. You have to be really careful with your right front and your right rear, and I'm not very good at saving tires. I'm too impatient for that, but it's definitely not one of my strong suits. But I'll try to work on that this week.
Well,
Hopefully,
it's the
get
it's
prepared.
the Gunslinger Whiskey 125, Walker. I'm not even sure. Are you old enough to be drinking whiskey?
No, sir.
So we're not too sure how we're going to celebrate in Victory Lane. Maybe some milk or something, but we're looking for you back here in Victory Lane one more time, Walker. Love what you're doing, man. Very happy to see you, Cole, back out here, and glad it's you. Congratulations on the win. Anybody you want to thank? Now's the time, brother.
Yeah, I want to thank y'all guys for the broadcast. My dad and Adam Cole to put on this whole league and FurnitureMartNC.com, and that's about it.
All right. There's a great racer, great kid there, Baron. Walker Cole, back in Victory Lane. I mean, he's a vet when it comes to driving.
Maturation has been on a a superhuman level as compared to week one to where he's at now. Lots of improvement and still more to go. Can you imagine? He's already getting checkered flags and this is still a work in progress. Dean, I like what the future holds for this 20 car.
I love what the future holds. I love what the future holds for us. As we said, we head to Iowa for the Gunslinger Whiskey 125. I hope you'll catch all that action every Wednesday night, 9 8:20 p.m. It's the Raid Furniture Mart Super Series. But from Bristol Motor Speedway, where Walker Cole grabbed the victory, that's going to wrap it up. I'm Dean Doucette. He's Baron the Bosco, and we'll see you right here next time on Wind Tunnel TV.